Jim Irsay is a crazy person. I mean, I don't think I need to say much more else. Look at these photos. This guy's insane. So, we are bringing back the Relocation franchise series now that I hope that the draft reset glitch is fixed. And we're going to do a little different we're going to do it a little differently this time, as I messed up what I was saying. Instead of relocating the Panthers, we're going to relocate a team from the AFC, and it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Irsay, he's out of the picture. He got caught with some extracurricular activity sort of things. And he has been relieved of ownership duties, sold it to, I don't know, McGruff the crime dog. Don't do drugs, kids. Hey, my phone went off. So we're looking here, I don't want to say we're straight up gonna tank or anything like that, but we are definitely going to trade away some of our best players, try to get some draft picks in here, and maybe shake things up a little bit in Indianapolis before we leave Indianapolis and go elsewhere. We're looking through these trades, and I figured I thought Shaq Leonard would have a better market than this, but nothing too great here. Brian Burns would be interesting. We're gonna pass on Brian Burns because I want an extra first round pick, and we're gonna get that from the Packers. We're gonna get Eric Stokes, and we are going to get a second round pick and a first round pick for Shaq Leonard. So that's a pretty nice trade for us. Stephon Gilmore, he's old. And, I don't want to be ageist here, but we're going to trade him to the Las Vegas Raiders we're going to get Nate Hobbs here. I wanted an extra young corner again. Once again, remaking our cornerback room with a lot of youth, I think, is the way to go for us. And we're going to try to get a second and a 4 out of the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to give them Stephon Gilmore. We're starting at the point where the Raiders thought maybe they were going to be good. So that's the trade right there. I think it's a good trade for us and a good trade for them. They get a good corner as they're trying to compete for a Super Bowl. They just traded for Devontae Adams, because, this is an alternate universe where we don't know what we know now, right? So I think that's interesting. We need a quarterback for this season. And it's not like the Commanders invested a lot in Sam Howell, and so we're going to send Matt Ryan there. So, yeah, another trade with the Washington Commanders, and they get another quarterback. We're sitting at 0-4, so my strategy of kind of tanking is somewhat working. So we're looking through here at all the towns we can move to, and technically we are in the AFC South, so technically I should be kind of staying in the kind of weird, right? The somewhat eastern, southeast part of the country. I should kind of be staying in for the AFC South if we're going to be like looking at it from that way, geographically, with the rest of the teams in the AFC South. But we are going to move to Salt Lake City, Utah. Utah has a lot going for it. It has mountains. It has a dinosaur sign. It has that. It has skiing. Happy white people. So we're going to choose our name now. I assume that's what's in Utah. I've never been. So we have the Elks, Flyers, and Pioneers. I remember a popular YouTuber doing the Flyers before. I looked through the uniforms. I didn't like anything for the Elks, really. And so we're going to settle on the Pioneers because we are pioneering professional football in Salt Lake City in Utah. I'm kind of surprised Utah doesn't have a professional football team. That's a little odd to me. They do seem to support college football pretty good. Here are the uniform options. And I almost threw up just looking at these. This is why we need Team Builder back in Madden. So I can just make my own uniforms, own colors, things like that. Yeah, we're kind of like the knockoff Browns. We're going to go with this one. It has like the most unique look to it, I think, out of the other ones. So then the other ones had like a helmet with like the axe on it. I like the helmet with like the bearded buff daddy on it. I think that was a pretty good helmet. So that's the one we're going to go with instead. Stadium, outdoor stadium. It's Utah. We're going to be playing in the elements. We know the NFL isn't going to send a Super Bowl to Utah, so we're just going to build our really nice outdoor use stadium. So we have all that done, which means it's time to simulate to the off season, sort of see how we finish. We finished 4-13. Not ideal, but new ownership came in and kind of just, upended things, I suppose. So, yeah, that's sort of what happened. So we're not going to fire anyone. We're not going to fire Frank Wright. I don't think he should have been fired in real life, actually. Kind of strange that he got blamed for the Colts being bad. Sam Howell, 20 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. Not a great season. Jonathan Taylor, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. He was the offense, it looks like. No other back even got over 200 yards on this team, but Taylor's more of a workhorse back, so I really shouldn't expect that. Leading receiver was Kiki Kuti, which is not good. Michael Pittman Jr. down year. Paris Campbell, kind of whatever, only played in 10 games, so he got hurt throughout the year. So yeah, not great. Led the team a touchdown, so did Austin Doolin. And yeah, just not a very good offense. Lots of interceptions, lots of not touchdowns, which is not good when you're trying to win football games. Granted, we weren't necessarily trying to win football games. I mean, I wasn't outright tanking, but I wasn't heartbroken that we didn't win a lot of games. And yeah, sacks were given up, which is never good, but it looks like everyone stayed relatively healthy. And we come through here now. We are interception leaders. We didn't get a lot of turnovers either. That's not ideal either. Nate Hobbs did get 2, so that's good. Eric Stokes got 1, but once again, more weeks of not having touchdowns or not having interceptions and not getting to the quarterback. More weeks of giving up touchdowns to the other team. Not ideal when you're trying to win, but it is ideal when you're kind of indifferent on the whole winning thing. If you're indifferent and maybe slightly don't care, you're fine with that. The Broncos, this is how you know this is based off the preseason roster. They won the Super Bowl, and the Buccaneers made the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, MVP. That's not happening in real life. He should maybe be sued for stealing money. Potentially. I don't know. Quentin Nelson, key offensive lineman. You don't want to let guys like this hit the market. Yeah, you want to bring guys like this back. But we have everything going against us. He wants to play in a warm weather state. Super Bowl chase. This is sort of not, none of the player motivations are in our positive here. And he says he's just not interested in signing. So F you, Quentin. I think about franchise tagging him, but it looks like no one wants to re-sign with us since we moved to Utah, which is not, ideal. You know what I mean? Paris Campbell, hey, do you want to stick around? We'll give you money. You've been a complete disappointment as a player, so it's better for you to just take this money. He's not interested. He says, no, thank you. So we're going to franchise tag Quentin Nelson $17.5 million just for next year for him. Yannick Ngakoue, hey, you've kind of been not good consistently. You should take a multi-year deal. And he does. He's like, you know what? I have been terrible. I've been on and off. I'm going to take this multi-year deal. Bobby Okereke, he says no to us. He says, go F yourself. And I say, wow. Yeah. So really no one wants to re-sign with us. Kiki Kuti, hey, you had one good year. Maybe you want to sign with us, man. Giving you a multi-year deal. You're kind of a journeyman receiver. He says, no, I'm a test free agency, dog. Very disappointing. These guys are not loyal whatsoever. We have $60 million in cap. So we're going to have to spend some money here, fill some holes in with this team. One of the holes on this team is sort of, we're switching to a 3-4 because it's easier for me in my mind to sort of build up a 3-4 than a 4-3 because you have to more often with a 4-3 when you're signing players, you have to change their position to left end from right outside linebacker. It just gets really annoying, and it's easier for me to just sort of sign guys like Rashawn Green and Deshaun Hand to sort of play on the defensive line. It's just easier for me to get these guys. So Rashawn Green out of USC We're gonna try to sign him. We're gonna see if he's interested. You know, I did look at block shedding that once again for my defensive linemen. That's something I really do look at. That's something that's really important for them to shed those blocks. Chris Barnes, 25 out of UCLA, has star development. So we're gonna give him a 3-year, 3-year deal that pays him about 4.5 per year. He likes the offer, so he gets some security, gets to play in Utah. Pretty sure the taxes in Utah aren't that bad. I could be wrong. Greg Little, just offensive lineman depth at this point. You're gonna sign him $5 million for a year, and he's all right. He's not sure about living in Utah for a year. I can understand that. Even though if you're not into skiing and multiple wives, I can understand being apprehensive about moving to Utah. Cody Ford, we're going to give him a 3-year deal. Want to get some guard depth, just have that depth at guard in case after next season, Quentin Nelson decides to bounce on us, even though no one we sign will be as good as Quentin Nelson. So we get all those guys. Greg Little, we evaluate the offer one more time, and Greg Little is going to join us. He saw no one else wanted to sign him, and he figured I might as well just go to Utah and ski or something. Here's the draft class. I didn't really look too much at it. I just did like the key sort of things where you pick your scouting stuff. I don't know how to say that. Your national scout, their assignments. I did that, made sure that I got that as best as I could. I wasn't sure if I was going to take a quarterback because I wasn't sure if I was going to draft one in this draft or load in a draft class and then try to draft a real life quarterback. We're still going to load in a draft class for the next following season, so I'm actually like paying attention to that stuff. There's Gary Mitchell, big arm, throw power elite, strength elite, decent speed, kind of Nate English, 2.0, I would say. But yeah, maybe not as tall, I would say. I don't know. Here's Jamal Phillips. Here's an outside linebacker. This is what I'm talking about. We got to get some pressure on the quarterback. And Jamal Phillips, he looks absolutely insane. 4.52 at the NFL Combine. His pro day, he got to a 4.49, 38 reps. Strong, can jump. 20-yard shuttle isn't good. I'm sure if I watched like someone's scouting breakdown video, they would tell you like what that is. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, that's for like agility. He doesn't have good agility, but everything else looks great. So he is going on our draft board. And take a look here. And they have us taking a left tackle at number 2, Matt Stinson. And we have 2 first-round picks. Remember, we got one from the Packers. And we take a look down here, see where that pick is. Might be around 14. It is. And they had us taking another left tackle. I have us just taking 2 tackles and calling it a draft. I don't think I could do that. There's Gary Mitchell, that quarterback that we looked at. Looks pretty good. But I could do that and then just load in a draft class, play the season with Sam Howell. But I feel like that would be very unrealistic to do. I feel like if there's a quarterback in this draft that's like a top 5 talent, so they take a quarterback out of Appalachia State, the Vikings do. If there's a quarterback like that, why wouldn't I just take him? I feel like that people are like, why aren't you doing that? So we take a look through here. I thought about taking the tackle, Stinson, but this guy's physical ratings are just off the charts. And, all this looks really good. At worst, some of these are C's, which you can build with. His finesse moves are an A, hit power is an A. That's really good to me. Block shedding A to C. So some of these have to be A, is my thought process, right? Not all of them are going to be A, but some of them are. And when you have physicals like that, I think I'm willing to sort of work with this player. So we're going to take Jamal Phillips, and it looks like it was the right choice. 92 strength, 87 speed, 82 jumping. Once again, change of direction and agility somewhat lower, so maybe that's what that 20-yard shuttle kind of means. It's more for change of direction and agility. But 91 acceleration, that's great. So I wish they would show us like the actual player ratings. I don't know why it does that. I can just go and look at the end of the draft. So it's not like the fog of war thing matters. Quarterback Chris Schmidt comes off the board. I wasn't going to take a quarterback named Schmidt. I just wasn't. Philip Nash goes to the Seahawks. And so we're just simulating through here as we're coming up on our next pick, which is pick 14, which we got from the Packers. Matt Stinson goes off the board. I thought about maybe trading up and grabbing that tackle. We do have an issue at tackle for sure. We absolutely have a need some depth there. So at this next pick, we have to take a tackle, because if we don't, there's Kerry Armstrong. He was another tackle I looked at. There's stuff on Stephen Thorne. That's a guy I really didn't like his physicals. I thought they looked kind of not good. So we come back here now, and so we have to take a tackle for sure, or there's just not going to be any left when it comes our next time to pick in the second round. So Isaiah Irons is a tackle that we're looking at here. We know a lot about him. Most of his key ratings have been fully revealed to us. He looks like solid strength, solid 40 time, 4.97. Has A awareness, so that's positive. Impact blocking's an A. Injury is A to B. Not sure that matters too much, but lead blocking's an A. Pass block's a B. Pass block finesse is a C. That's his finesse things are sort of C's and things like that. Not the greatest, but I think in terms of just needing some depth, I think that's the guy that we should go with. I look at the quarterback, Gary Mitchell, one more time. This pick is sort of down between Gary Mitchell and Isaiah Irons. And, you know, Mitchell, he looks like a good quarterback, is what I can say. He looks like a really good quarterback. Looks like he has good skills, A, under pressure. So if the pressure gets in there, we don't have to worry too much about that. But I'm not prepared to take a quarterback right here. We're going to get the lineman. And we look at the next, and we're going to look at the teams coming up after this pick, after we make this pick here, which is going to be Isaiah Irons. Just makes too much sense. Looks like maybe the last good tackle on the board. We do have him 95% scouted, so we're going to take Isaiah Irons, and we get a hidden dev. So we got Jamal Phillips, hidden dev, Isaiah Irons, hidden dev, 86 strength, everything else kind of okay. I would think for a tackle, not the greatest athlete, but good enough to play tackle for us. Not sure if that, probably right tackle. We'll slide someone else over in that left tackle. So we have a bunch of teams coming up here. The Bengals, they don't need a quarterback. So we're going to try to initiate a trade with them. Granted, I'm not giving up an extra one to move up here. Not doing that. I will give up maybe an extra 2. I'll give up 2 2s, but I'm not giving up a 1. I just will not do it. So we go to the Bengals. We offer we say, give us your first round pick, kid, and we will give you 1 lollipop, 2 lollipops, and a gumball. 2 2s and a 5th to move up into the sort of first round here, and they decline it. I probably could get this done with an extra 3rd. I don't want to give up a 3rd. I'm giving you 2 2s. So they take their tight end. That's fine. Next pick, defensive tackle by the Texans. I thought maybe the Texans could take a quarterback, but it looks like they're going to rock with Davis Mills for another year. Jaguars, I know they don't need a quarterback, so we can pass here. We're just going to, wait a little bit so we can get to a point where, we can safely trade. And the Bears, we knew they don't need a quarterback. The Cardinals, they don't really need a quarterback. Almost said cornerback. The Cardinals definitely need a cornerback. They don't need a quarterback though. Maybe one that's a little bit taller. But so we're gonna go to the Cardinals. Oh, we're going to the Bears. My bad. No, Cardinals. I'm all over the place here. So we say, hey Cardinals, we want your first round pick, kid, and we're gonna give you 1 lollipop. And since we're not trading, we're gonna say, hey, why don't you give us that? And they say no. Okay. Like, okay, all right, kid. I see you want to play hardball with me. What if we throw in some extra Call of Duty double weapon XP tokens? Or if I really, I'm actually going to give you our next year's second round pick and a fifth. What do you think about that, kid? And they accept it. So we move all the way up from pick 34, really. So we move up a couple spots here, move up 12. We give up a fifth and a 2. Is it the most realistic trade? Probably not, but they accepted it. So we are going to not mess around really at all here. We are going to take the quarterback, Gary Mitchell. And he has hidden dev, 97 throw power, 79 speed, 72 strength, good agility and acceleration. So he looks, a bit more mobile than I thought he was going to be. He looks absolutely massive. He looks like a complete unit. So we're now in the second round. This is our other second round pick that we have. This might be our own second round pick. Not 100% sure on that. Or this might be, I'm pretty sure this is our own second. You might have traded the one we got from the Packers. So we're looking around here at some players, and Clarence Fitzsimmons looks interesting. He has good speed for his safety. Good strength, elite strength. We're going to take him 5'11", 221. Now I'm looking at, dare I say, 91 speed, 85 acceleration, 86 change of direction, good jumping, good agility. Dare I say, I might have to try him at middle linebacker at the very least. We do already have a safety. I believe we have already someone there, but next year is his last year of his deal. So we have some options there with Fitzsimmons. Take a look at receiver. All the receivers had a bunch of negatives on them. Not good route. Some of them had bad route running, bad release, had bad catching, not great physicals. This guy doesn't have good catch in traffic. So a lot of flawed players in this draft. I think that's pretty cool. We take Kevin German out of Missouri, but he has hidden dev as well. 90 speed, 80 jumping, 92 change of direction, agility, acceleration. Looks really good. So again, another hidden dev player. So we have Jamal Phillips, Isaiah Irons, the quarterback, Garrett Mitchell, and the receiver. So that's 4 hidden dev players that we hit on in this draft. The streak stops at 4 because we take Chris Denmark, a guard. Looks okay. Looks like a guy that could step in a pinch if that happens. We're taking a look here. Leon Gary, good strength, good acceleration. He'll be on the roster for sure. I'm not sure how much we'll see him play next year, though. Looking at a tight end here, and Artie McAllister, 4.74. Decent for a tight end, I would assume. Yeah. So we take him. Not great strength. 81 speed, 85 acceleration. Kind of whatever. So that's the draft class. We simulated the rest of the draft. So 79 overall for Phillips, 73 for Irons, 77 for Mitchell. Fitzsimmons is a 72 overall. Kevin German, I'm not sure if it's German or German. I'm going to say German, though. 75 overall in the second round still. That's awesome. Chris Denmark even, 67 overall. I'll take it in the third round. Leon Gary, 64 overall. Not the greatest, but we take a look at Kevin German's ratings. He looks like he might project out to a running back to me. His route running isn't the greatest, but he kind of, I don't know, his other stats make him look like more of a running back, but could be a really good slot receiver for us as well. Artie McAllister is a 66 overall, and they took a running back for us who is a 68 overall, and then a center, Philip Dixon, which is he's a 64 overall. Probably won't see much of him. Let's take a look here at some of the other quarterbacks that were in this class. Kevin Lindsay, 71. I believe he's a 74 overall, but he does have hidden dev, so that's a good pick by the Vikings. Chris Schmidt, 231 is his weight. He's kind of a big guy, 6'1". Normal dev, 71 overall. Not terrible. Somewhat interested in that pick by the Eagles. Philip Nash, a 75 overall. And he looks okay, but no hidden dev. So we get the other hidden dev quarterback in this draft class, which is pretty nice for us. We take a look here. here is the roster. Smith is going to play at left tackle. Irons going to stick at right tackle where he normally plays. And the rest of the offensive line looks pretty good here. Cody Ford. So I think we did good on our offensive line. Signed some guys for depth in case anyone gets hurt. We have Mitchell, Howell, and Sam Ellinger on here. Here's Gary Mitchell. Might do a live stream where we kind of go through the preseason a little bit. Gary Mitchell, out of Auburn, SEC guy. So, you know, maybe used to winning a lot, playing in SEC championship games in this universe, but not here, pal. Here in Utah. Defensive line looks good. I'll have to change this up a little bit to get guys where they should be. DeForest Buckner is a superstar X Factor, which is pretty nice for us. Hopefully Jamal Phillips. We have Justin Blackman at free safety, and he's pretty good. Hey, we come to where he went to college, Utah. So, and he is 187. So I'm looking at, you know, Fitzsimmons really does seem to project out to more maybe a linebacker. We might have to try that this year. Somehow he played 2 years previously in Salt Lake City. He has 1 year left on his contract. So, you know, I think that's a really good pick. That's more of a, like, hey, this guy might bounce. But, yeah. We are going to need a second linebacker. So there's a chance we might see Fitzsimmons in that role. Jamal Phillips, 258, 21 years old, out of USC. Gonna be a pure edge rusher. This guy's a freak athlete. You know, my comp for him would probably be Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews was an absolute monster his first like 7-8 years in the league. Eventually, when that athleticism declined, he wasn't as good, but still, Clay Matthews was a monster, was a beast. I personally think he had a Hall of Fame career. Won a Super Bowl, won Defensive Player of the Year before. I think that guy's a Hall of Famer for sure. I'm not saying that's what Jamal Phillips is going to do, but I think he has a chance to. Isaiah Irons, take a look at some of his stats. His run blocking looks okay. It's really the power blocking where he excels, that finesse stuff. We're going to have to work on that as we go through the series with him and get him better, get him more well-rounded. So we'll probably focus on his finesse, his agile bucket of stats. And yeah, I mean, look at this. We have Jonathan Taylor, 99 overall, running back, absolute monster. So yeah, we have some decent pieces on this offense, and I'm excited to see how this goes. I don't know when the live stream is going to happen. Follow me on Twitter. I'll probably post about it. Be sure to check out community posts on this channel, and I'll tell you guys about that for when we do the live stream, when we'll go through the preseason and give these guys all sorts of cool equipment and stuff. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Click these links to watch other videos and other stuff, and subscribe and all that other good stuff. Yeah, later.